Hi guys. So in this lesson, we are going to focus on finding the main idea of a section and as well as what details support the main idea. So here I have my text, my book that we're going to be writing in. And as I said, we're going to be focusing on the main idea of a section as well as what details from the text allow me or supports the main idea. So with that, let's begin. I have chosen to focus on the section called Kingdom of Ice. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So I'm going to focus on a section called Kingdom of Ice. And this is a subheading from our book Frozen Dreams. So due to copyright, we're not reading the entire text on live, but I'm going to summarize the main idea of this section, Kingdom of Ice. So this is a subheading, and the main idea of this section is where the author is talking about the what is the Kingdom of Ice. So in this section, they're talking about the place that was unreachable to anyone. It started off talking about how during the 1866 time, there was no GPS or Google Maps, and most parts in the world they were still unknown. So because of this, persons weren't really venturing out to different places. But here we have Matthew Henson, who wanted to be that person who basically saw places where nobody else has seen before. So with that said, Kingdom of Ice focuses on the one place that was unreachable to everyone, which was the North Pole. And it also spoke about, how cold it was, where it's located and how cold it was, where is its position, how far it is. It also spoke about, the type of people who basically live there. So if I was to say, what is the main idea of this section? The main idea would talk about the place, which is the North Pole. It also spoke about it being the coldest place there. So I'm going to go ahead in my own words, because that's the first thing you guys need to do is talk about the main idea, but in your own words. So the main idea of Kingdom of Ice, and I'm going to actually write it in a sentence, the main idea of Kingdom, capital K, because it's the name of a place, Ice is the location or the North Pole, as well as how cold it is and the people who live there. So remember, this is in my own words. So I am paraphrasing or I'm summarizing what I've read. So this is my main idea. This is what the section is mostly teaching me about. This is what Kingdom of Ice is teaching me about. Now, what evidence do I have from the text that supports that this is what I said? So from time to time, you guys are asked, how do you know this? How do you know this? Now, this is the reason why. So this is the main idea, usually is written in your own words, but the supporting details usually comes from the text. So the detail one is that one place in particular was unreachable, was the North Pole, because it was at the top of the world. So this is detail one. So detail one is that the North Pole is at the top of the world, and it is considered at the time unreachable. So this is detail 1. That's how I know that's what they're talking about. Detail 2. And guys, it's good to find at least 3 details. You can find more, but 3 details usually give an idea. Next, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's unreasonable because it sits in the middle of the Arctic Ocean. So it sits in the middle of the Arctic Ocean. That's a detail right there. It says, which is constantly moving and shifting. Okay. This constantly moves and shifts. So this is another detail. Remember that I'm talking about, they're talking about this place called the North Pole, which is, they're talking about how cold it is, as well as the people who inhabited it. Another detail about this would be that its closest land is Greenland, and it's more than 5,000 miles away. And so that was the reason why it would be unreachable, because the closest land was Greenland, which was 5,000 miles away. So I'm going to go ahead and put Greenland in capital because it is an important word. So go ahead and say it's 500 miles away. And when I go through it, it basically talked about, how cold it was. It talks about people who went there in the 1500s and that. But the main idea of this session is talking about how this place, the Kingdom of Ice, like, why was it called the Kingdom of Ice? So it is considered to be the top of the world, is unreachable. It sits in the middle of the Arctic Ocean. It constantly moves and shifts. It's the closest land to it, which is Greenland. And this is the main idea and the details for this section. So the main idea is the most important parts in the section, or what the section is mostly about, and then the details are the evidence from the text that supports what the main idea is. So this is Frozen Dreams. I was talking about the Kingdom of Ice, which is a subheading within this section, because in order to find the central idea, which is what the entire text is about, we need to know what was the author focusing on within each section of the text. So that's the main idea and details. And I'm going to come back to you guys with another main idea activity coming up next.